All right. Hello, everyone. This is Ezekiel Kuhoga from Mind Setting Initiative. And one main goal of Mind Setting Initiative is to make sure that we are helping to share positive information that can help in the transformation from where we are now to the better standards, to the better levels, where people can be able to, to explore opportunities, to overcome their obstacles, and something like that. And today we have Dr. Marian Baah, who is a chief manufacturing engineer from Dispelix company. She will talk more about herself when she has joined us. And she's going to share some stories, which I think for some reasons, they might be inspiring for you. They could give you some motivation, something like that, so that you might also be able to overcome the challenges which you are facing. Maybe they might not be the same, but they might correspond with each other. And this is why we are doing what we are doing now. So I will now join Dr. Marian. Dr. Marian, nice to have you on the session.
Pleased to be here. Thank you. Yes.
Yes, and I would like to inform also my audience that I am today at home with my kids and I'm alone. So let us expect any, we might have some disruptions here and there, you see? Yeah, but all in all, I hope we'll be able to get the message that we have intended to give today. So Dr. Mari, can you introduce yourself? Who are you and where are you right now? What are you doing?
Okay, so my name, as you mentioned, my name is Marian Baah. I am a Ghanaian, and right now I'm living in Finland and I'm working with Dispelix oil. And one correction, I am not a chief manufacturing engineer, I am a senior manufacturing engineer. So, yes, that is what I'm doing right now. And the company is into making AR glasses. So, I'm one of the many engineers.
AR glasses, what is that?
Well, in a nutshell, the augmented reality glass, I don't know, most of us have heard of virtual reality goggles and those things, but augmented reality, in virtual reality, you are totally immersed in whatever it is you are looking at, or but in augmented reality you are aware of your surroundings. And some of these glasses, that they are basically like normal glasses we have on the market and prescribed by doctors, but then you are able to project whatever is on your phone, so you don't have to be completely disconnected from your environment whilst you are using the AR glasses, but you are still in your environment, and then you are very aware of what is happening with you, but you can also be watching a movie and walking around and no one will know unless the person is wearing your glasses. So that is the kind of glasses we make. Yeah.
I see. It's interesting. And so, in your position as the senior manufacturing engineer, what do you do? Do you manufacture the glasses, or what do you do?
Yes, that is my main job. So we have in the company we have different positions. So we have designers who actually design these glasses. They design various patterns, and then they give the design to the manufacturing engineer, who will then bring it to life. So we will make these patterns on these glass wafers, and then they will be cut out into the normal glasses we wear. So that is, we bring the designs that the various designers make to life so that we can use it. That is the job I mainly do, just to brush over it without exposing any.
I see. I see. Well, we'll get back to this, but let us talk about you first.
Mhm.
And I must start by admitting, when I first came to Finland and I met you and Benjamin and some other people. Uh, there was one word which I thought you were misspelling. I thought you were not saying it correctly.
Okay,
So
which one?
every time, I'm referring to a Ghanaian, I would say Ghanaian. I was having a hard time. But then when I hear Dr. Benjamin, he would say Ghanaian. And I was like, no, it's not supposed to be like that. And also, I
Yeah.
hear from you, and I was like, but we have Tanzanian, we have Zambian, we have Kenyan. It's supposed to be Ghanaian or something like that. Have you met
Okay,
other people
so
who do the same mistake as me?
okay, because Ghana is a British colonized country, and you know that these British, they have their slangs and everything. So even though the country is Ghana, when you're mentioning the person from the country, the A at the end of the other end is kind of silent. So it goes like Ghanaian. So as the Tanzanian would be like, it's Tanzanian. But you see, I even mentioned yours Tanzanian. I don't add the A or
Mm-hmm.
something, but that is why we mention it Ghanaian instead of Ghanaian. You know, it's so foreign to
I
me
was
when I hear.
listening to a speech by Julius Malema, and
Mhm.
one time he was also saying this Kenyan, and he really had a hard time. He had to say Ghanaian, something like that. It's very difficult to
Just
say
forget
this.
it's silent. Just forget the A there and just go like Ghanaian, and that's it. Yeah.
Well, so which country are you coming from? Actually,
I'm coming from Ghana.
from Ghana. What part of
Yes.
Ghana?
Well, that's a very interesting question because would you want to know where I hail from, as in my mother town, or would you want to know where I live or where I have lived? So which one? Okay, so
Maybe combined in the brief sentence.
okay, so I am from Ghana, and originally I'm from the eastern side of Ghana. We are the Equiapums, and we are the they sort of tease our tribe to be the polite tribe. So
Okay.
yeah, so we have though the Ghanaian the the Akan is the general language, and then you have when you enter into the Akan language, you find different dialects. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
from one of the dialects of the Akan language, and I lived in the central part. Though my family lived in the capital city, I lived in the central parts. After junior high school, I went to senior high school. Also, I went back to the eastern region for senior high school, but then for the university, I moved to the central region, and I kind of never came back to the greater Accra. And that is where my family lived. From there, I came to stay for like a month or two, and then I left for Finland. So I have kind of moved around in Ghana. I'm from the eastern region. I have lived in the greater Accra region and have lived most of the time in the central region. So, yeah.
Most girls would love to stay with their parents, until maybe they are close to getting married or something like that. But you said you moved out after high school. What happened? Did they kick you
I,
out or something?
no. I'm not most girls. I have. Someone would say I'm the crazy child of my family. I come from a family of 6 children, and from childhood, my mom always said, "You're always like, oh, I need space. I want to be alone," because you are with six, you are with 5 other siblings, and everyone is always in your face all the time. So I've
See.
always wanted to kind of be alone because you don't really
Mm-hmm.
get that. I didn't get that when I was growing up. So once I got that, I was like, oh, I'm keeping it. I'm not going back.
Okay. And
So
so, speaking now of this academics, is this a thing in your family? You have gone until in your PhDs. Were you challenged by your family, or is this something that you just wanted by yourself?
it's well, going further for a PhD was something I wanted for myself. I have I don't know. It's from childhood. It had always been that, but it's in my family. It's my dad is a master's holder. My mom finished with her bachelor's. I have 3 other siblings. No, 4 other siblings with masters, and I am the only crazy one to go for a PhD. So
Hmm.
it's in
But
my
it looks the whole family is has that literacy. Very
yeah,
nice.
the education is there. It's one thing that my parents were very particular about. They needed their kids educated. So though people around us were wondering, we live in a shabby house, but every one of us is educated. So they put their money and their efforts into our education, and now time to give back to them. So it's something they were particular about, and I'm very glad they were particular about that. Yeah.
Okay. So what brought you to Finland?
So as I said, right from childhood, I knew I wanted a master's degree and then possibly a PhD degree. So when I finished with bachelor, I was given two options by my mom. My mom told me, would you want to do your master's or would you want to find a job? And then I told her I want to do this. That is, I've always told her I want to do my master's. And she was like, okay, master's it is then. So I started my master's back in Ghana. I actually did 2 years of my master's. I was almost done. I was finished with my laboratory work. It was just left with writing my thesis, and then I'm done. And then I'm done. And then I was left with, I think, 1 or 2 more courseworks to be done with that. But then it had extended into a 3-year thing because sometimes that happens instead of, because I planned it for 2 years. So by the end of the 2 years, I was basically done. All I needed to do was write my thesis and write those courses, and then I'm done. But to be able to do that, they were like, I have to register for another year, which I wasn't ready for. So I started all through my master's. I was applying to schools outside Ghana, but then I was still doing my master's. So there was no break. I was doing my master's and still applying. So when it was going to extend into years, I became more serious with the application because I didn't want to pay school fees for another year when I have, let's say, just 3 months of work to do. So I applied to the University of Eastern Finland and they accepted me. So I came here to start my master's all over again. But I was able to do it in 2 years. So
Okay, but there is UK, there is Canada, there is US. Was this the only place you applied?
No.
Finland?
I applied to the US. I actually got schools in the US, but I didn't get funding for it. They did the school fees waiver. I think I got, for one school in the US, I got 70% waiver. And then I got another school in the UK with 80% school fees waiver, but no stipend. But then Finland offered me 100% school fees waiver with stipend. So I chose to come to Finland because it was economically better to come to Finland than to go to the UK.
I see. Last time I had a session with Peter and Kenny. I think you know them. They are from Nigeria, and one of the things we discussed is that there is a lot of Nigerians abroad. You know, in I think in many European countries, even in US. But after Nigerians, I think it's Ghanaian people.
Yeah.
Everywhere, every corner you enter, you would not miss also a Ghanaian.
Yeah.
What's driving people to come outside of the country this much also?
You're like, what is encouraging people to come outside?
Yes, what is the current behind? And this should include you. You are also here. Is this something like country-wise, people have to come to abroad?
It depends on the motive, but most Ghanaians I have met here, the main reason why they chose to come to
apologies. Let me, this guy. Hey. Okay. Yes.
So most of the Ghanaians I have met and spoken to, the reason why they came here is because of studies. It's very expensive to do your master's or even PhD in Ghana. That I can be honest with you. It was a decision my mom took. Like, let's say my parents took to sponsor my master's, because even though they sponsored my master's in Ghana, my sister who has a master's, she had to apply for university outside Ghana, and she also got with stipend, and my brother who has master's also had to fund it himself. So it was, I don't know, I was lucky for them to decide to fund my master's in Ghana because it's very expensive, and most of these European, or let's say the Western world, they are offering you the opportunity to do your master's, and some are even offering you stipend to do the master's. So I think that's why most Ghanaians come here, because yes, there are people who are doing their masters back in Ghana, but it's very expensive to have your masters in Ghana. So that is why I think you see most Ghanaians here. Most of them are looking for an easier and simpler way, and then economically better way to have their education. Yeah, that's why. At least that's why I was here, because I wasn't ready to pay another year. Yeah.
I see. So now taking into consideration where you have reached now, career-wise, being a woman or being an African, has this influenced you reaching here in any way, positively or negatively? Was this an obstacle, or was it like a uplifting factor, something like that?
Coming here was definitely, I would say, a blessing for me. Coming here, it's there to everything. There's a good side and there's a bad side. But I see mostly the good side, because I have been given the opportunity to learn something that I really wanted to back in Ghana. Though it's deviated a little, but I'm still here. I really, really wanted to learn photonics in Ghana. I had a class in my 3rd year in the university, and I was like, wow, I want photonics. So it's been a very good thing for me to come to Finland, because studying photonics has really opened different doors for me all over. I've had opportunities I never thought I would have. Yeah, it's been
many women, I would say, they always run away from science subjects like physics. Of course, initially in the secondary school or something like that, most girls, they would say they want to do science subjects and something like that. But as time goes on, they realize this is not our thing, and many run away from it. But you seems to have gone through it easily. What's the reason behind?
I wouldn't say easily. Okay, one thing is, you have to find your motivation. Nobody will motivate you, trust me. Some people will tell you, oh yeah, do and do this, but that's basically all they'll tell you. It's good, go and do it, but they will not direct you as to how to do it and how it's going to work out for you. So you will have to find your own motivation. You have to, for every step in my education, there has been a motivation. And sometimes I was just recounting this to some friends just a month ago, and they were like, what? That was your motivation? I was like, yeah. As stupid as it sounds, it has brought me here. So from senior high school, going into, when I was in my junior high school, I was really into literature. So my parents actually thought, oh, she's going to do literature or something in the senior high school. But then when it came to choosing schools, I told them I wanted to do science, and they were like, if that's what you want, cool. My dad was like, okay, I'm gonna get a doctor. I'm gonna get a doctor at some point. So I was like, well, I'm not really going to be a doctor, so don't worry.
I see.
Yes, there was a medical doctor. My dad really wanted a medical doctor.
Okay.
Yeah, he wanted to have a medical doctor in his family. So senior high school, then I went to the university. The education I had from senior high school, I carried it all through my bachelor's for my bachelor's. And then going on to master's in Ghana, it was, as I said, it was the decision I took right from age 15. I took that decision at age 15 that, okay, if I'm going to do science, I'm going to do my master's and possibly a PhD. The PhD was a possibility. I was like, okay, I might or might not do it.
Yeah, but it's something you projected from early on.
from very early on, mainly because I wanted to do physics. And the masters was a must for me because I looked at people who had read physics in around me in the environment I was in, and all of them were teaching. Teaching is not a bad thing, trust me, it's a very good thing. And I have taught, I enjoy teaching a lot. But the thing is, I wanted to teach in the university or in a polytechnic. I didn't want to teach in the senior high school. So the only way I would be able to teach in a polytechnic or a university in Ghana was to have a master's degree. So that was right from get-go, that was my mindset. I want to teach in a university, I want to teach in a polytechnic, so I need a master's. If I'm going to do physics, I need a master's. So that was it. You, as I said, you have to have your own motivation. You have to have something that drives you. From childhood, what was my main motivation was my dad. He was my main motivation until I go to the senior high school and it changed. So yeah, you have to motivate yourself. So.
I see, and there is this also narrative nowadays. I think it has become more popular. You know, people trying to criticize higher education levels like masters or PhD, say most graduates, maybe PhD holders, they are really maybe not so useful in the job industry, or they don't know much when it comes to experience, or they don't get jobs as they should be in comparison to people who are maybe they graduated maybe bachelors or something like that. What's your opinion? Does having a PhD really make something really useful, or make someone useful or productive in an area, taking into consideration also your context, your personal life?
As I keep saying, it depends on where you want to find yourself. If your main goal is to just work for a company, I don't know which company, let's just say, let me use a company in Ghana. Let me say Ghana Telecom in Ghana. And all you want to do is be in the laboratory or be a technical man. Then having just a bachelor's or a diploma is more than enough. It's more than. But if you have the goal or the mindset that, okay, I want to work with Ghana Telecom, but I want to be a manager, or at some point I want to become the CEO at some point of Ghana Telecom. What then do I need? As I said, I wanted to teach, but I wanted to teach in the university.
I see.
Or the polytechnic. So it depends on where you want to find yourself. If you want to find yourself always the first person they turn to when they want to have something fixed, then bachelor's or just the normal diploma is good enough.
So it all goes back to what are your objectives?
Yes, what is your objective? What do you want to obtain? What do you want to achieve? Where do you want to see yourself in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years? Because trust me, having a master's degree opened doors for me. Even just being a master's student opened doors for me. And then when I started my PhD, more doors opened, because now they are not looking for you to be the handyman. They are looking for you to bring the idea so that the handyman will do. So it all depends on where you want to find yourself.
I see.
Yeah.
That's good. And now, being where you are now as the senior manufacturing engineer, right? How do you consider this situation? How does it make you feel? Is this like a privilege to you, or is this something which you think you deserve according to what you have gone through? How would you consider this as an African and as a woman?
It's not a privilege. It's not something I got just being an African woman or being a PhD holder. It's not something I got just by being that, because there are so many PhD holders walking around without jobs. So it's not a privilege. It is something I have obtained through hard work. And you working hard doesn't necessarily mean you always being in the lab and just working. People must know the kind of work you have done. People must see the work you have done. People must know your work ethic. So even though I was always in the lab working, and I wasn't just the handy person before I finished my PhD. I was just the handy person, because in the long run, whatever I did in the lab was seen by other people outside the lab. Every product I produced in the lab went out there, was tested, and was found to be good. And that brought people wondering, who is this? Who did this? How was she able to achieve this? Then it brought the connections. So
I see.
it's not, yes, someone will say it's a privilege. To some extent, it is a privilege because I got to work in that particular lab. But also, it is hard work.
I see.
It is hard
So
work.
what I get from you here is that you reached where you are now, not because of the status that you got. For example, PhD is the status, or master is a status, but it's more of personal character. Like how do you display yourself, the hardworking, and something like that.
Dedication, perseverance.
Mm-hmm.
I have colleagues who would test that Marian will go to the lab in the morning at 8. This thing is not working. She will not leave until it's working.
I see.
The only time I'll come out of the lab is to use the washroom or to find something to eat. And then I'm back in the lab because I need to have it working. And as I have it working, I need to know the steps I took to have it working. So it is your work ethic, your perseverance, your dedication to the work, and the kind of relationship you have around you. If you're just focused on your work and like someone needs help from you and you're always like, I'm busy, don't, that also happens.
Yeah.
That also, because your work ethic, your communication with others, how you treat others around you also counts a lot. Yeah.
I see. So adding to that now, also reminding that we are talking about how we can encourage an African woman to go through, because I think as an African woman, most of them, they would think they are disadvantaged as women, maybe because I don't know, they don't have that strength to be productive, but also maybe because naturally men are stronger, or we have relationships and all sort of that. So we have people who have accepted a defeat because of those environments. So how would you address the situation, taking into account your personal life?
As your title go, mind setting initiative. It's all in the mind. It is all in the mind. If I tell you the kind of discouragement I got the first day I said I was going to read physics, I think I was in the university. I think I was just 18 years old. I was just 18. And I told you my dad was my motivation. The motivation, it can be good and it can be bad. So,
True.
yeah, I told my dad I wanted to go and read physics in the university. I was like, no way, you are a woman. The moment he made that statement, you are a woman, go and do something that, I was like, what? Because I'm a woman, you're saying I will not be able to? Okay, wait, I'm going to prove you wrong. So that was my motivation to do physics.
I see.
He was like, you're a woman. You know, I'm not saying you cannot do it, but you know, you have to find something like biology or chemistry or something. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm a woman, so if I have the brains and if I have the zeal and the motivation to do physics. I went to
Yes.
my dad first because he's a physicist. He's actually a mining engineer. So I went to him telling him this, thinking he would be proud and be like, yes, my daughter wants to do. But the first thing he said was, "You're a woman." I was like, what? You're not supposed to be telling me this. You're supposed to be encouraging me. So that pissed me off, and I was like, okay, because of you, I'm going to read physics. I'm going to do it. And the first year, at the end of my first year, he was the first person to call me to ask for my results.
Mm-hmm.
And then
So he can prove the point.
yeah. And then I told him my results, and he was so quiet on the phone. He was so quiet. And then all he said was, I guess you can do it. That was all he said.
Finally, he agreed.
He
I
agreed.
see.
That was all he said. I guess you can do it. And then he started motivating me to work. The second discouragement I got at 18, I had my first boyfriend. I was so happy. And then we were having a discussion. He was also an engineer, mind you. I had men who were engineers surrounding me. So
I see.
you know? And I told him, oh, you know what? I want to go and read physics in the university. I was like, no way. No. I can't have my woman reading physics. No. You know, I don't want you to stress yourself. I was like, what's that supposed to mean? Why do you stress my reading? I think that was one first argument. I'm going to read physics, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I see.
And then he the conversation. So it is the mindset.
You had a strong zeal. I see.
Yeah. I knew what it's. You have to know what you want. You have to know what you want. If it is becoming a housewife that you want, because I've had colleagues who she was like, oh, I want to have a bachelor's degree so that no one would tell me that, oh, my husband's wife is dumb. Duh, she has a bachelor's degree, but she's a housewife. So what?
Yeah.
That was someone's goal. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong. That is what she wants, and she's thriving perfectly there. Her kids are awesome. But there's also me on the other side of the spectrum.
Yes.
This is what I want. So you must
I
know
see.
what you want. Once you know what you want, as I said, you must find a way to motivate you.
I see. This is very.
Yeah. You must find a way to motivate. That nobody, trust me, nobody will motivate you. Nobody. Unless you have some very, very nice friends around. I had my friends when I started my PhD. I had my friends asking me, "Why, girl? Why?" I'm like, "I want it. It's what I want. It makes me happy when I'm studying. That is what I want." So you must know what you want, and then you must find a way to motivate.
I see. Now, as an African, you didn't mention, you only mentioned that it didn't matter on your way to success, but uh, taking on this context that we are in the European country, we have a lot of white people who are having, very small perspectives of Africans. And you have been trusted, I think, to a very, very good position in your company. How come were you trusted? Was it because of the hard working, as you mentioned, or how did you reach there? Because I'm assuming being an African also, it should have been also a driving factor to slow you down.
It is a dragging factor to slow you down. But as I said, your work ethics. We have racism. We have undermining people. Like people will just undermine you just for being a woman, and on top being a black woman, you'll be undermined.
Yes.
But the thing is, it's your work ethic and dedication to the work. If I tell you I haven't faced that, I will be lying. We were two ladies working with one supervisor.
Yes.
And from the get-go, I could see that my supervisor, I don't want to use certain words, he didn't think much of me. He didn't think, I knew it, but this, any woman at all would be discouraged and then stop.
I see.
But with the kind of obstacles I have faced back in Ghana, when I actually decided to read physics, I look at this and I smile and I'm like, you really don't know who I am, really? You really know who this girl is? So I just laugh. Even in the company, there are things that happen, and you know that you are clearly being undermined. And I'm not saying if you are being undermined, just smile and just forget about it. No. That's not what I'm saying. Because me, that's not what I do. I smile in that moment. I will smile and walk away. But once I have proven you wrong, I will come back around and tell you that this is what you did. This is what I saw. And you must think about it very well. This is not right. So that's what I'm not saying just walk away. How you approach certain things also matters a lot.
I see.
Now, no one can say that Marian is loud because I am very loud. As you can
Just a second. Let me lower this volume. Sorry.
No, you can tell I am very loud. I am very straightforward from the way I talk.
Yes.
I'm very, very straightforward. But you must know when to react. That is when I say your communication with others come in, because they look at all of that. I get angry, but I'll smile and walk away. I will smile and if it's in a meeting, I will smile and keep quiet. Because at that moment, if I address whatever it is that is going on, it would be me screaming my head off at some. So I will smile, keep quiet, walk away, and then come back to address it once I have proven you wrong.
I see.
Yes. So these things will happen. Not everyone is like me, that I am able to, keep quiet and then come back and address someone. But you should know how to address it. Because they're looking at your work. Number one, there's so much working against you. One, you are an African. Two, you are a woman. Three, you're not even supposed to be in this country in the first place. So much is working against you. So much is working against you. So you must know when. You must know when. That is.
Okay, so what's the proportion, by the way, of Africans versus maybe Finns or Europeans in your company? Is there many Africans there?
Right now we have four Ghanaians. Yeah, we have 4 Ghanaians in a.
And what's the proportion?
150 Europeans. 4 Ghana. In fact, let's say 50 workers with 4 Africans.
Okay. Okay, so I think one point I would need you to clarify, especially for Africans. I think it's time we need to be waking up. Many of us have been believing that Europeans or white people are brighter, more intelligent, and I think even European people themselves have been believing this. So
Yeah.
you having been able to work in the midst of European, of other white people, what have you realized? Do you think they are naturally brighter than we are,
It
or
is
what's
a
your take?
misconception. It is a huge misconception. Of course, there are some of them that are very intelligent. Some of them are very, very intelligent. But if you are looking on an average, if you're looking on an average, trust me, Africans are much more brighter and intelligent than we are. They have their systems working for them.
Mhm.
They have everything in their favor, and we have everything against us. That is the difference. But if we are all put on the same scale, like it is done here in Finland, where we are all put on the same scale, you would know the clear difference. You would
I see.
know. You would definitely know. You would definitely know. You would immediately realize that, okay, these people are so intelligent, so smart. If we don't take care of things, so that is they would begin to, little by little sabotage you, hinder you in ways that, but it's a huge misconception. If you are putting us on the same scale, I would tell you Africans are brighter.
Do you
I would tell
think
you.
this could be the factor? Maybe many Africans on the because many people have graduated, in physics, photonics, including myself, but it has been very hard to get into the industry. Do you think this could be one of the factors?
I think it's one of the contributing factors. It's one of them. It's one of them. I also think some of our colleagues are also not helping us in many ways. Our colleagues are not, some of them are not helping us in many ways, in many ways, because as I said, your work ethic is completely different from
Hmm.
how they work. Because let's say I go to work at 8:30 or 9 a.m. I know I'm working on this thing, it's not working, I need to have it working. I will have it working before I leave work. But these people will stop at 4, which is very healthy, which I should learn to do, because it's not just about the state of mind, but it's also your body. You need to give your body enough rest. But they know that Marian will have this thing working before she walks out the door, and they capitalize on that.
I see.
So there are others too. There are other Africans too who are given the same job. However, they will
Apologies.
give you
Okay, give me. Yes, I think it's about time we should go close to wrapping up. These boys,
yeah,
they're
yeah,
that
no
bad.
problem.
But
So
let's just close up with a few more questions.
okay.
Uh, what do you think we should do as Africans now, taking into account that disadvantage which we have?
There's this notion of working in silence. Working in
Mhm.
silence. You should, as Africans, we should be capable. We should know what we can do if we put our mind to it. And once you know
Mhm.
what you can do if you put your mind to it, work in silence. Let your works do the talking for you. But in moments where you need to talk, because there've been issues, there's been moments where credit due me is going to be given to someone else, but you have to talk
Mhm.
up. You have to speak up
Yeah,
concerning that. You have to speak up. So you should know when to talk and when to be quiet.
I see.
We are capable of so much, but we should be, we should know how to use our capability. Don't lord it over them, because you being capable already annoys them. Lording
Mhm.
it over them makes it worse. Because I have heard someone talking about his interview and telling me, the person who was even interviewing me was so dumb. I was like, what the? Why would you
Mhm.
do that? Right there and then. You're not even going to be considered for, then your name is crossed off the list.
Mm.
You should know when to set yourself and when to stand back and watch, because we are capable of so much.
I
Yeah.
see. Adding to that, we still have a lot of African intellectuals,
Mhm.
PhD graduates, some masters graduates, but here now I'm speaking about Finland, still
Mhm.
stuck in cleaning jobs and something like that, very long, and maybe not seeing any other alternatives. What advice would you have for these people?
I would say it's a choice. I would say it's a choice. As you said, the jobs, we are not getting the jobs. Create them. Look at what you are doing.
Mhm.
Create them. I know of two people, one Ghanaian, one Nigerian. They have a startup now. If they see the potential in you, they see your work, they will support you.
Definitely.
You don't have a job. Create the job you are looking for. Create it, because there's so much money in the system they are looking to invest. Their people are not using the money. Use the money for them. Create the job you are looking for. Create them. Because if I hadn't gotten a job, I was asking myself, so if you didn't get a job, what would you do? I told
Yeah.
myself, okay, there's so much I want to explore, there's so much I want to try, there's so much I want to do. I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll start a YouTube channel just talking about some of these things. I will I will try my hands out on I'm not going to make a career out of it, but I'll try my hands out on being a driver, going, like there's so much opportunity out there. Make that
Yes.
I'm not saying make that the life choice, but create your opportunities. They are
Yes,
not
I really like what you're saying. It corresponds to one of the speech I heard from Leslie Brown, and he said, always look for circumstances which can help you achieve your goals. And if you do not find these circumstances, you have to create them.
create them. Create them.
I
Create
see.
them, because there's so much to do. There's so much to do. So many services that is needed. Create them.
I see. Perhaps one final message. Now, this goes straight to young African girls, African women. How do they overcome this mentality issue? How do they start now to exploit the opportunities that they lay before them and enjoy them?
I believe it's fear. The fear, they have the fear that they can't. And I had that fear, especially when I was told it's a man's job, it's a man's world. I had that fear. I was so afraid. I wouldn't say I studied twice as much as my male colleagues. I didn't.
Mhm.
I I did what I can. I made sure I had covered everything I can possibly cover.
Mhm.
Give yourself the opportunity to do what you
I
don't say
see.
the universe will take care of the rest. No, God will take care of the rest.
Mhm. I see.
Don't leave room. Yes, you are afraid. You are afraid of doing certain things. But do it anyway.
Okay, get down, get down. Now
Let me
these
give.
boys are starting.
Yeah,
Yes.
let me give you a simple example. I
Mhm.
just moved to Finland. I just moved from UNSU to Espoo, and I was I was supposed to drive from UNSU to Espoo, and
I see.
I discussed with first and foremost, I did my research. That is one thing you have to do. You know, do your research before you go and talk to
Mm,
someone else. Because if you are going to rely on only what the person is going to tell you, you would stop what you are going to do. So
that's
first,
true.
I took time and I did my research. How long would it take me? Let's say I want to drive for 45 minutes and then stop and rest. How long would it take me to get to Espoo?
Hmm.
When I had all my data, then I discussed with friends and I was like, okay, so I want to drive. What would be your best? I had someone telling me, don't do it. It's dangerous on the road. You are in any case, you are even a woman. Don't do it. And these are African men I'm talking about.
I
Don't do
see.
it. It's too dangerous. Then I spoke to family. I asked family. I was like, so I'm planning on driving. And same thing. It's dangerous on the road. Don't do it. Mind you, I've done my research, and I don't know the way the road is.
Mhm.
If you listen to the negative thoughts, you will never do what you want to do. There's always one person in there who will tell you that do it, but this is how you have to do it. Because I had
Yes.
one person tell me that yeah, you can actually do it. The very place you have to be very concerned about is between from Yuansu to Varkaus. That place is
Mm.
very slippery. It's very slippery
Yes.
over there. So
Yes, that's true.
so that is the place you have to be very concerned about. So if the speed limit is 60, you can go 55. Those behind you can come and pass you. Go at
Mhm.
your own pace. Don't listen to the people around you or what is happening around you.
Mm.
And I'm here in Espoo.
I see.
Before you bring before before you bring your ideas to anyone, do your research. Because before I went to my dad to tell him I wanted to do physics, I have thought about it. I was like, okay, yeah, if I do physics, I want to teach. If I want to teach, where do I want to teach? I want to teach in the university or the polytechnic. Then I'll need a master. So, yeah, you know, do your research. Everything is possible. Everything is possible. You just have to have the mindset.
That's true. And maybe something greater I can add there is that we have to understand that, being different people, that means we have different stories. And having different stories, that means we have different context. So
Yes,
someone can give you an advice which might sound very true from his own story and
point of
context.
yeah,
Yes, but your context might be very different. So it's good to listen to advice from other people,
yes,
but then
definitely.
you have to make sure that you do the context translation well so that you can see
Very well. Because
correspondence. And if,
as the woman, a lot is going on for us. They
yes,
say women multitask. A lot
mhm,
is going on in your brain.
very true.
Listen to your instinct. They say the woman has the same instinct. Listen to your instinct. If someone is telling you you can't do it, listen to yourself first. What is your self telling you? Is yourself telling you that okay, yeah, it's true. I might fail when I go in there. But make sure it is yourself that is telling you this and not the outside influence that is already telling you this.
That's true.
What will be your first? Someone will tell you the first thing that pops in your head. It is yourself telling you.
Mhm.
So if this thing comes into your head, okay, I want to go into science, and the first thing that comes in, yes, this is good. It is your first. It is yourself telling you, yes, you can do it. Yes. The moment you discuss with friends and they give you their input, then you mix it up with other people's. So you have to identify which is your.
I see.
As a woman.
Well, Marian,
yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today. It was one of the very, very productive session, and I believe many people will learn and be inspired from the story.
I hope it was.
I believe this is our first session. I'm gonna look for you for many other things. I see you have a lot of stuff we need to discuss about, and make sure that people benefit from information that is in you.
I am available. You let me know when.
Thank you so much once again, and let me wish you a nice weekend.
You too. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.